Hi guys, so this is your Bake Off challenge. We have 3 different challenges for you to really get stuck into. The first one is the signature challenge. We want you to bake some gorgeous butterfly buns. The second will be the technical, and we need you to make a set of macaroons. The third is the showstopper. So you need to bake a cake and decorate it in any way you like. So be creative, do it with your family, you can do it by yourself. Just get stuck in, and don't forget to document it all on #UniteBB. Have fun!
Hi, my name's Maddie. Some of you may know me, some of you may not know me, but I'm last year's Unite's Bake Off winner, and I'm here today to teach you how to make macarons. Enjoy it, have fun, and make sure you follow the instructions carefully because it is a very hard technical. Enjoy guys, let's go. So the ingredients we need to make our macarons is icing sugar, ground almonds, egg whites, granulated or caster sugar and food colouring. The first thing we want to do is measure out our icing sugar. We need 170 grams of this. Then we're going to reset our scales with the same bowl still on, and we're going to measure out our ground almonds. We need 160 of these ground almonds. Don't worry if you put a little too much of the ground almonds in or any of the mixture. Just use a little teaspoon and try spoon some out just to get you back to where you need to be. Once you've done that, we need to put this icing sugar and ground almond mixture onto a food processor and pulse it for about 15 times. This just helps to ensure that the mixture isn't too thick. It helps it thin it out a little bit so you get that macaron texture. Then we're going to remove the ground almond and icing sugar mixture and put it through a sieve. This again also helps to thin out the mixture a little bit more so you really get that macaron texture. If any gets stuck in the bowl, just use a spoon and scrape the rest of it into the sieve. And begin sieving until all of the mixture has gone through into a bowl underneath. If there's any big chunks left behind, you can just pop them in the bin, but that's only if they're really big chunks. You want to ensure that the majority of the mixture has gone through the sieve. The next step that we need to do is separate 2 eggs. We can see how this technique's shown here in the video. Then what we need to do is add the egg whites into the almond and icing sugar mixture and mix until you get a thick paste. I find this best to do it with a fork so then it mixes the egg whites thoroughly into the almond and icing sugar mixture. As you can see, it's starting to form a paste here, which is exactly what we need. The next thing we need to do is crack another 2 egg whites into a bowl. Make sure you separate them out from the egg yolks. The technique shown here again in this video, if you're struggling with that. After this, we need to put these 2 egg whites into a spotlessly clean bowl and begin whisking. This makes the part of the recipe the meringue. We need to whisk and get those air bubbles into the egg whites to make it nice and fluffy. After about 5 minutes, your egg whites should start looking like this. So they've become nice and fluffy, they've got a lot of air in them, ready to make the meringue. What we need to do next is, in a small pan, weigh out 160 grams of granulated or caster sugar. I use caster sugar in this. And weigh approximately 50 grams or millilitres of water. Then we need to put the pan over the heat. As you can see, I'm continuously stirring this mixture and it's quite cloudy. As it begins to boil, the sugar will melt and it become more see-through, which is what we need for the meringue. Just keep continuously stirring it whilst it's on the heat. Here it is, it's starting to boil and we can see that underneath it's starting to become a clear mixture. This means the sugar's dissolving and it's becoming a sugar syrup. Once it's thoroughly boiled, take it off the heat and run it down the side of the egg white bowl. Make sure to run it down the side and try not to spill any like I did. Then you need to put your mixer on the highest speed possible and really whisk that mixture to make it into a meringue. If you don't put it on its highest speed and whisk thoroughly, then there's a chance that the meringue won't be fluffy enough for the ground almond mixture. Therefore, this will make the macarons really runny, which isn't what we need. As you can see, my meringue here is really fluffed up and it should form soft peaks. If yours isn't quite at this stage yet, just keep whixing until it is. So a really good way to test the meringue mixture is to tip the bowl upside down. If the meringue stays in place in the bowl, this means that it's ready. Then what we need to do is gently put this meringue mixture into our ground almond bowl and fold the meringue in. Don't mix because this can blow out the air bubbles in the meringue, so you need to gently fold it, which I'll show you in the next video. So we begin to fold the meringue into the almond mixture, ensuring that we don't beat out any of those air bubbles. And we need to keep folding this mixture until all of the almond mixture is intertwined with the meringue. So as we can see here, the meringue's folded in with the almond mixture, and by folding it in, we haven't lost any fluffiness from the meringue. Next thing we need to do is add some food colouring, and the best food colouring for macarons is gel food colouring because it's very vibrant and it doesn't water down the mixture at all. Again, the best way to do this is by folding it in with a teaspoon. Next, what we want to do is put the meringue mixture into a piping bag ready to pipe it onto a baking sheet. The easiest way I find to do this is put my piping bag in a cup and fold it over the edges, then slowly tip in the meringue mixture until the piping bag is full. Then you chop a small hole in the end of the piping bag and begin to pipe. You can either do it freehand, but I find it best to print off a sheet of paper. If you just search macaron templates on the internet, you can find one easily, and I just pop that underneath my baking sheet, and it helps as a guide to how big I should fill my macarons to. And then once you've piped your macarons, you need to turn the oven on to 170 and let your macarons sit for about half an hour or until they've formed a skin on the top. Then, after they've formed a skin, pop them in the oven, let them bake for about 14 minutes. I think mine were in for about 12. Take them out of the oven and they should look a little something like this. You need to make sure your macarons have formed a skin on before you put them in the oven, otherwise you won't achieve this look. Then, once your macarons have fully cooled, you want to begin to fill them. With mine, I just filled them with jam and I did my macarons in the Unite Village colours. So I just started up by putting some jam in a bowl and warming it up with a teaspoon. I placed a small dollop on 1/2 of a macaron and squished it down with another macaron on top to form this look. At the end, your macarons should look a little something like this. You can fill your macarons whatever you like, chocolate ganache, jam, but just enjoy them. So that's all from me, guys. I hope you had fun and I cannot wait to see your awesome entries into the technical challenge. If you have any questions at all, just put them beneath the post and I will try my best to answer them. Good luck, guys. Can't wait to see the entries.